In a very strong position, playing some very, very fine volleyball. Unlucky indeed to lose the first set. That fine spike there. Great home support here, of course, in Long Beach for the States. Paula Weishoff taking over the serve, serving at 8-10. With the USA in front by 2 games to 0. All the Peruvian girls all over the place that time. So the US edged closer, just a point between them, in a match which takes on added significance for the US because they were beaten by Peru in the semi-finals of the World Championship 2 years ago. The Peruvian bench here looking on. Volleyball is a very popular sport in South America, of course, and indeed right now women's volleyball is second only in importance to men's soccer. The set up by Carolyn Becker. And the side out, the point rather, for the US. Peru really all over the place, in awful trouble. But that one is good. A gap right in the middle, exploited by Rosa Garcia, and so the scores tied up 10 points each. Carolyn Becker setting up. Flo Hyman there, the number 7 nearest to us. Side out to the US. Here's Carolyn Becker, the number 6. A gold medal in these championships would mean an awful lot to the US. That's too long. Not since 1968 in Mexico has a US team competed in the Olympic Games. So a side out called with the US ahead 11-10. And the winners of this tie here tonight will go on to play the winners of the match between China and Japan, which will be played later. The final coming up on Tuesday. And just listen to that home support. The volleyball ladies, very, very popular. It's an emerging sport here in the US, just as it is in our own country. Carolyn Becker then for the second time serving and into the net. So side out to Peru. Carolyn Becker goes off, Debbie Green goes on, one setter for another. Debbie Green usually the first choice, so Barry Selinger the coach. Oh, that's powerful work there at the net. Julie Wallerstein. And again, it's a net call. And again, it's timeout for Peru. There's Ari Selinger, who's the head coach, often criticised indeed for his training methods. He really puts the girls to a very tough routine, as Julie Wallenstein again produces the spike that matters. So the Peruvians making a change of their own. Off comes Natalie Malaga. 11-10. Rose Major serving. And the block not quite effective. The ball slipping down. So it's side out again to Peru. Here's Del Risco. Oh, that was a lovely, gentle touch. Again, it's Julie Wallerstein. And she moves back then in the rotating order to the number 1 position, serving at 11-10. These girls go through a very tough routine in training. They've been together for the last 4 years. They train 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. And as I say, the training methods have often been criticized, even by the volleyball authorities here in the US. Block half effective again. That's a good spike. The number 6 for Peru, Del Risco, getting up high above the net, which is at 7'4". And Cecilia Tate, the Peruvians' most talented player, serving that time. The Peruvians having to dig while the Americans do what matters most, spiking and getting the points. Rita Crockett here, who's led very much a nomadic life in the last 4 years. Volleyball the whole time. She plans to go to law school after the Olympics. She's serving at 11-10. It's a good dig by Rose Majors. And the ball, is it in? It is. Despite the disappointment of Denise Fallardo of Peru. So here's Rita Crockett again, serving. A good double block. And there's no stopping that. Rose Majors going right back. In volleyball, it doesn't matter if you go behind your baseline. The important thing, of course, is to keep the ball in the air. Del Risco serving. That's a great serve. Good recovery as well. So now Debbie Green setting up. Again, it's Debbie Green setting up for Flo Hyman. That's a great smash. Their most talented player, I think, really. Flo Hyman from Debbie Green's set. Arms in motion over the block and into the corner. Paula Weishoff stepping up to serve as Peru bring back on Carmen Pimentel. So here's Paula Weishoff. A very strong position the US girls are in now. 13-10, they needed another 2 points for a straight sets victory. The umpire here on the near side, the referee on his high chair across at the other side of the net. Good recovery. And another good point by Flo Hyman. There's no stopping them now. Just a point then from a final place on Tuesday and a match with either China or Japan. What a tie that should be. And there it is, a straight sets victory for the US in a match which took 1 hour and 25 minutes. A terrific victory. A match which finished in 3 sets, 16-14, 15-9, 15-10. And so the US girls en route for a gold medal match on